say what methodology you're using, and also the target audience and the target area in which the research takes place. And finally, you also state the findings of your research. So you find out all these 4 things in a particular paper, okay? And then you come out with the limitation. This limitation turns out to be the objective of your paper or the aim of your paper. So this is what we saw yesterday. And now many of you also had many questions yesterday, which were all resolved. And many of you also, you came with your abstracts. Your abstracts were, abstracts were read, and I also came up with a few corrections. Literature review stated you cannot share the literature review of your doctoral thesis. But if it is a literature review of a journal paper, obviously you can do, so that we can see if your literature review structure, your content, your clarity is perfect. Okay. Yes. And before we proceed with day 4, I just thought of adding a few more tips on working on your literature review. Now, literature review, as I told you, you're taking up 3 papers for a research that spans for 30 days. Yes. Okay. Now, how do you identify that the research paper that you download or you identify is genuine or fake? How can you do it? Maybe if the podium has got any technical people over here, you can help me because you know better than me. We are all literature people. When you identify a Scopus paper, okay, and when you download it, before downloading, how do you check if it is genuine or fake? You can please type your answers in the chat box. DOI number is the journal indexed in platforms like Scopus, WOS, or peer-reviewed journal. Journalsearch.com, ABCD index, SJR search, on author's credentials too. Good. Okay. So fine. So these are different ways through which you check if your paper is genuine or not. Okay. I'll provide you a few tips on how you can check if a paper is genuine or not. Number 1, always see the inception of the journal. Inception is when it really originated, its origin. Okay, please do that. That's number 1. So say if the journal is a decade old or older than a decade, the one thing that you have to look out is the number of issues they produce every year. Say the journal has been running for more than a decade, for 11 years, 12 years. Okay, in that case, you please check the number of issues they promise every year. Some issues, some very standard Scopus journals that are Q1 journals, they publish only annually. Okay, they just put in some 8 to 10 papers. Okay, and only 10 papers come every year. So there is no deviation at all. 10 papers every year. Fine, understood? So that is one case. Some journals, especially Q2 journals, they come biannually. They say we publish once in January, once in June, or once in June and once in December. This is how it's all structured. Some journals, they come up with issues once in 3 months, which means you will get the journal, you will get the papers getting published 4 times a year. 4 times a year. Okay. So you randomly give a check. if they are publishing 4 issues per year as they have promised. Just check. Just check. You can do it. Okay. So say this is 2025. You take up the year 2016, 2017, like randomly you have to make a search. See if there are 4 issues under that particular year. In case instead of 4 issues, you just find 2 issues. You just find 3 issues. See if there is any justification made. Else you have to wait. Okay. You have to wait because they have not done things as they have promised. In that case, you have to wait. Understood? Yes, this is number 1. Number 2, all of the journal papers that you find in a particular journal, they have their author details. Definitely they have their author details. So you try to contact 1 or 2 authors via mail. Okay, just you can write up say, I read your paper, sir or madam. It was of great interest. It is going to be like, it is very relevant to the research that I am doing. Just send them a mail. Okay. If you check if you are getting a reply, please check if you are getting a reply. That's step 2. That's one idea actually. And third is, as I told you, all of your papers, they have their own credentials. They have their own credentials. For example, if you take my name, so how does it come up? It's like Dr. R.K. Jayashree Karthika, Assistant Professor, Senior Grade 2, School of Social Sciences and Languages, SSN, VIT University, Chennai campus, and my mail ID is also there. So you go to this particular place where the professor, the researcher is working, and check if their name, if the person's name is also available on the website. Okay. If Jayashree Karthika, under it says she works at VIT University Chennai campus, go to the VIT University Chennai campus website and check if she is really working there under SSN. So this is like cross verification. So all these things will make you feel that the journal that you have taken for your research, for literature review, is relevant. It's useful. Is it fine? Yes? Done? So we will start with today's session, which is titled Methodology or Research Methodology. Okay. There are many methods of doing a research. There are many methodologies of doing a research. So today I'm going to just take up two methodologies exactly, and we will see how you can proceed. Okay, fine. So first is called, I'll just type it out for you. So the first methodology that we will be dealing today is quantitative methodology. Quantitative methodology. So what is this quantitative methodology? Is anyone adopting quantitative methodology here in your research? Or have you adopted in any of your papers? The forum is very silent today. Hello, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
No one has adopted? You have adopted? Okay, so I'll give a step-by-step procedure on how you have to go about with this quantitative methodology. Okay, see, for example, for instance, say my topic is, I'm doing a research on housewives who are currently undergoing or who had undergone abuse, maybe domestic violence or domestic abuse. Okay, this is my topic. So this comes under the area of interest called gender studies. My area of specialization is gender studies. Okay, this is one possible topic. I am going to do a research on housewives who are undergoing, say, physical abuse, verbal abuse, or domestic violence. One possible topic. I am going to take up the first year students of VIT University Chennai campus, and I'm going to identify students who have undergone child sexual abuse when they were young, when they were kids. Other possible topic. I'm going to identify drug addicts in my class. Once again, my research, my target area is VIT University. Okay, it can be the final year students. I'm going to identify hostelers, okay, hostel students at VIT University Chennai campus, probably the third year and the final year students who are suffering from, or maybe who are not having any proper sleep pattern. Okay, they're not able to sleep in the nights. Okay, so these are all different possible topics that I can think now. So my motive is I have to conduct a quantitative methodology. So how do I start? My first step is I'll be drafting a questionnaire for my target audience. I have identified my target audience. I have done it. And I'm very clear about my research topic now. Yes. So the first thing that I do is I'm going to draft a questionnaire. So whatever question I feel like asking to my target audience, I put it on the questionnaire. So the questions can be, let me be very, very frank. When you deal with humanitarian research, okay, when your research is more like humane oriented, when it involves human beings, you have to be a little more bold, a little more confident than you really are, because you will be asking very open questions to them, and that's your contribution to the society. That's what is going to reflect on your paper, and that's your finding as well. For example, let me take the very first topic. So what are the possible questions that I can ask to housewives? I can ask like, what is the reason you are still there in that marriage? What is the reason you are undergoing this domestic violence? How do you react when you are verbally abused? How many children do you have? Are the children witnessing this kind of physical abuse when it happens, or physical violence when it happens? How do the kids react to it? Are you aware that it is mentally and emotionally affecting your kids? Why not you opt out of this marriage? Why not you apply for a divorce? Okay? Why? What's the reason you are staying a housewife? Why are you not professionally getting acute? Do you talk back against your husband? Do you retaliate or do you react? All these questions I will ask. Any questions that you feel like adding to this queue of questions that I have said now? No? Okay. Fine. And we, the women, or I could say the daughters of South India especially, not even India, South India, we are all trained and we are all brought up in such a fashion that even if we get stuck in a very abusive marriage, what are we supposed to do? What do our parents say to us? Even if your husband is very bad, he beats you, he abuses you, he's a drunkard, he doesn't earn, he loses his job. Okay.
Adjust.
Yes. Someone is saying the word, right?
Parents, yes, ma'am. Parents telling their children to adjust for the society.
Adjust for the sake of the society. Tolerate for whom? For your kids. You have 2 kids now. Okay. This is the mantra.
For the sake of the future of children.
Sorry?
For the sake of the future of the children.
For the sake of children. If I have to put it in Tamil, பிள்ளைங்களுக்காக பாரு. பிள்ளைங்களுக்காக பாரு. Openly they say. For the sake of your children. But you can also bring in some cultural connotation in your question. So if it's India, North India, South India, this is the belief. Okay. This is a social stigma. You cannot fight against this. Okay, it will take another, say, 2 more decades to change all these beliefs that you have to adjust, you have to tolerate, all those stuff. On the other hand, just imagine a woman who is suffering this domestic violence or physical abuse or mental abuse or verbal abuse in a foreign country. What would she do? Say there is one lady who is your very close friend in Melbourne, Australia. Okay.
Ma'am, she will take quick decision comparatively the Indian women.
Okay. So now this term is also very famous with the 2K kids now. Even my own students at the university, they use it. We want to come out of this toxic relationship. Toxic is the term now. Yes, you're aware of it? So their point, their viewpoint, their angle of looking at things is quite different. And at times it actually motivates us. We have to admit that we are that older generation because we all belong to that old school of thought, even though we support this progressive thoughts. They say, why should I suffer in that relationship? I want to come out of that toxic relationship. Now, even before I started this, when I was drafting this proposal for this program and I was contacting the university, it was that time I think it's in Insta. I saw a post. It was a girl. She must be around 35. Okay. She's a foreign lady. She was wearing a very beautiful frock. Okay. A pink, beautiful frock. And she was holding a board. This board read, I am divorced. And she is there for some photography. Just like how we have this wedding celebrations. How we have boards. I am getting hitched. I said yes. I asked. She said yes. Yes, we are expecting a baby. It's a girl, boy. It's a girl. It's a boy. Just like that, there's a board which read, I am divorced. And I was able to sense that this lady is celebrating her divorce. So now, divorce is no more stigma word in the society. Many are celebrating it. It's a celebration moment because you are out of all negative vibrations. There is no room for abuse anymore. You're going to have a good new start. Okay? So you can add all these cultural connotations, cultural theories to your thesis, to your questionnaire as well. And while drafting questions, see to that you have multiple choices. Give your respondents a lot of choices, just like how in competitive examinations you have B and C, A and D, A, B and C. You understand? So just like that, let your choices be more than 4. Try. It's not a compulsion, just try. Because the more choices you have, when you get the extracted data sheet, you will get all the responses exactly, accurately in points, in decimal points. 26.33% of the respondents replied yes to this question. It's exact. That's called a quantitative methodology. That's the reason why I am asking you to have many choices. At times, respondents feel the questionnaire has got 4 choices, but I cannot answer all the 4. I have a different answer. So you have to frame the questionnaire from the viewpoint of a respondent, of a housewife who's currently undergoing the abuse. You understand what I'm saying? Yes? Okay. Now, your questionnaire is ready. Please don't take any questions from ChatGPT. Okay? Think. We all have brains. If you're not going to use your brains, it will rot one fine day. Please don't use any questions from ChatGPT. Because at times, questionnaires from already done research also repeat. So naturally, it will show under plagiarism check. Be careful. Once your questionnaire is ready, for research, for a thesis, you can have 50 to 60 questions, 50 to 75 questions. It's your choice. For a research of that you do for 1 month, exactly 30 days, 15 to 20 questions are enough. 15 to 20 questions. So always choose the lower limit. 15 is enough. Once the questionnaire is ready, you start circulating the questionnaire. So how do you circulate it? So as we are all tech savvy now, please put all the questionnaires in a Google form, get the link and supply the link. Let them fill it. Let them fill it. That is step 2. Step 3 is once it's done, you lock your questionnaire and you download the responses. So the responses is whatever data you extract will come in the form of an Excel sheet. It will come in the form of an Excel sheet. Okay? Yes, you understand? And always see to that this Google form, you are the owner of the Google form. Don't give this job or responsibility of creating the questionnaire, so constructing the Google form link to anyone else. When it comes to research, we all become desperate. Okay, there is nothing called best friends, close friends and all under research. Yes. Because don't say, ma'am, my friend told she will construct the Google form. She was ready to help me. So I gave all the questions to her. No, sorry, you're in trouble. You be the owner. If you do not know how to construct a Google form, learn it. Google it, learn it. It's good time you learn it. Done? Okay. Now, the extracted sheet is there with you. You have all the data with you. So you work out, and that is called quantitative methodology. Right? Understood? Yes. The second is...
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can we apply this in the literature, means English literature? In the research?
We can, ma'am. We can. The second methodology for today is qualitative methodology. So qualitative methodology, it is the very same procedure that you followed for quantitative. You're preparing a questionnaire, the Google form is ready, it's getting circulated, the extract data is extracted, the data sheet is extracted, it's in Excel sheet. Now in qualitative methodology, step 4 is, you take at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes of your time and you start observing the data. So when you start observing data, for example, say I have distributed the questionnaire to 60 respondents. Out of the 60 respondents, at least 15 to 20 would have very badly suffered or would be very badly suffering. So when you see the percentage, you will be able to identify them. Just highlight these respondents alone in any 3 colors that you want. Say red, yellow, green. Don't choose black or brown. Red, yellow, green. Highlight and keep it. It is for your reference. Now what you're doing is, you are going to talk to all these 15 to 20 respondents. So how can you do it? See, there is a lot of difference between a structured interview and a non-structured interview. Structured interview is one interview that we all take up for our jobs, or maybe the interview that the students take up for their placement. The venue is announced, the date is announced well in advance. Yes, the time is fixed for you, and there is a formal attire, a dress code. Okay, come in formals, wear a coat, wear a tie, come in sari, come in a professional salwar kameez. Yes. And they also say other more details are added to a structured interview. For example, curriculum vitae. Okay, take a printout of the CV, put it in this type of a file. The first page must be like this. This is the format. This is how your CV must appear. Your photo must be in this corner. All these details will come up, and this is called a structured interview. On the other hand, a non-structured interview is more like an informal interview. It can also be called a chitta-chat. Chitta-chat. What is a chitta-chat? It's like spontaneously you pick up a conversation with someone. The venue, the date, the time, it's all not fixed. No dress code, nothing. You don't have anything to pick up, to carry, nothing. So you are going to conduct a non-structured interview with these respondents who are the real sufferers. So how do you do it? You just go to them. Out of, say, you have identified 20 respondents out of 60. You say them that you want to talk to them, and it is solely for the purpose of research, and confidentiality will be maintained. Do it. Okay? So out of the 20, how many of you think will say yes to you? Say, I am a housewife, okay? I'm very badly suffering. There is a lot of domestic violence. Some researcher comes and asks, can we talk? Can we talk? So
No,
will
ma'am.
I immediately say yes?
No, ma'am.
So out of 20, you are approaching all the 20. As a researcher, you are doing your job. Okay, that's your duty because you need data. So you talk to all the 20. Are you free tomorrow? Can we meet near the canteen? Shall we meet over a cup of tea? Something like that you ask. So you may get 1 to 3 respondents, not more than that. 1 to 3 will also say yes. It's not like all will say no. Okay. And remember, whatever you're doing, you're going to do further is not a counseling session. It's not a counseling session. Okay. We are not counseling anyone. Okay. Now you have identified 3 respondents. So out of 23 have agreed for a talk, for open talk. So you meet at a very private place and you start the conversation. So you can ask as many questions as you want and they are answering to it. This interview will go from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Remember, right from the beginning till the end, all your conversations are audio recorded. And don't call any third party to record. Recording you have to do. Recording you have to do. Don't call someone, can you record? Don't do that. Don't do that. It will be very embarrassing for the respondent. So you record everything. You record everything. So with 3 respondents, you have 3 recordings. Yes, are you done? Finished. So just say a thank you and they leave. So after they leave, you play these audio recordings and listen to it at least thrice. At least thrice you listen to it. And every time you listen and observe, you will have many inferences to make. You will have many inferences to make. So all your observations are the findings of your paper or the findings of your paper. One second. Okay. Now, this qualitative analysis is also called, I have typed it, sorry, in the first word, I have typed it with a spelling error. I have rectified it. Phenomenology. Now, this phenomenology is becoming very significant. It's becoming very trendy in the area of research now. So what is this? Why this phenomenology is gaining a lot of momentum when it comes to research? Any idea? So phenomenology is nothing but your qualitative analysis, otherwise called phenomenology. That's all. Why? Why do you think it's gaining a lot of momentum?
It gives lived experiences of the person.
It gives real life experiences. In other words, it's even called the, I'm typing it. The lived experiences. The lived experiences. Okay. So you have many, if you are like researching, you can find many topics related to phenomenology. It is community, wait, I'm typing. Case studies, phenomenological case studies, or it could be community case studies, So I can focus on one particular group of people. For example, we also are hearing now LGBTQ plus now, the cure studies. Yes. So I can just focus on the L people alone, L people of a particular community, say the African, the Nigerian group of people, and I can make a phenomenological case study. I can do it. So these are all various ways you can do a research. Now, why this is gaining a lot of momentum is number one. First question I would like to ask is, you talk to a respondent for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. So which means you are extracting all the information, the entire lived experiences of the respondent. How do you think the respondent will feel after this 30 minutes or 40 minutes of talk?
Someone is hearing them.
Okay. It's like voice of the voiceless. Okay, you pour it down. You pour it down. You feel very relieved.
Sometimes
Yes.
traumatic too.
Sometimes,
Traumatic too.
yeah,
It
at times
makes them recollect their.
okay, fine. You are like, when you relive your experience, it can also work out on the other way. You may also feel very negative. Okay, you may feel like you are a victim. You are undergoing all this. You feel very helpless. All these can happen. So when you share, it's more of an emotional vent. So the synonym of the vent is opening up, emotional opening up. Remember, after marriage, girls cannot share certain things with your own parents. Sometimes at that time, what happens is you load all the negative emotions to yourself. You load all negative emotions to yourself. So your heart becomes more like a dustbin. Your mind, it becomes more like a dustbin. So when you talk like this, you are clearing. Okay, it is called an emotional vent. In other words, I think you are aware of this word, catharsis. Catharsis, like it's like the synonym is purging and cleansing of emotions. Purging and cleansing of emotions. You clean your mind. So catharsis is you purge all your bad emotions, okay? All the things that you feel very bad, it is getting cleansed. You're cleaning it. We do deep cleaning in our houses, yes? Nowadays, it's becoming very famous. We don't clean our toilets. We call someone and they say deep cleaning. Yes, why do we do it? What's the need to do deep cleaning? You can simply clean, no. Why do you hire a person, you pay them, and you do a deep cleaning? What's the reason behind?
For
Yes?
purity, for
Purity,
purity and hygiene.
you want to get rid of all the germs, the dirt. So just like that, catharsis, this kind of a phenomenological analysis, when you do, you are cleaning it up. Okay, so this is how you do a qualitative analysis. And last is, I will add one more today. It's mixed methods approach. So mixed methods approach is you combine both. Okay, you combine both because you're not going to do anything separately, any separate hard work or dedication for each of the work. No. Qualitative you do, quantitative also you do. So I will do both and I'll combine both in my thesis. That's called a mixed methods approach. So these are the major methodologies I thought I would highlight today. Yes. So if you have any queries now, you can ask.
Ma'am, what about the structured and unstructured approach?
Ma'am, research methodology it's not winding up today. I have a few more to touch. There are something called descriptive approaches, historical approaches, okay? So these approaches I'll teach maybe in tomorrow's class. I just thought of touching up these 3 methodologies alone because these are like exhaustive methods. Mixed methods approach is like you combine both qualitative as well as quantitative, or you can even combine any other methods or approaches that you know. So when you combine this quantitative and qualitative analysis, it's called a mixed methods approach. So here you can combine it in 2 different fashions. One is convergent parallel design. So you parallelly do both the analysis and you converge them together. It meets there. Okay. Else you can do a quantitative analysis and meanwhile you can embed. Embed is you insert. Okay. You fix this qualitative analysis, or you do a qualitative analysis first and then you can insert the quantitative, you embed again. That's called an embedded design. Longitudinal approaches, historical approaches, chronological approaches, all these we will touch it up tomorrow. Are you clear with these 3 approaches today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in that case, we can wind up. We will meet for tomorrow's class. So tomorrow's class, I'll be working on the different approaches. So what we saw today is methodologies. We will see different approaches that you can apply in your research. Okay. Yes. Thank you.